So just the other day, I was talking about how Trump signing the executive order a few months ago to change the schedule of weed from Schedule 1 to Schedule 3. It was largely symbolic. It was basically cheap PR, kind of like what Biden did, because after he did that, nothing happened. It just set pending approval or pending review. If he really wanted to make it go through, he could. Well, I was wrong and also right. Let me get into it. So he did just as of yesterday, reschedule medical marijuana. It is official, like he actually made it from Schedule 1 to Schedule 3. And this begs the question, because under Trump's second term, we have gotten this, which is a pretty big step. You can't really debate that. But you also had the closing of the Farm Bill loophole from the Farm Bill from 2018, which essentially allowed people to sell hemp. That was basically weed. Okay. It got down into the percentages and a little bit of using, like, saying this is THCA weed. It's THCA, with the legal limit of THC is like less than like 1% or something. And these are under less than 1%, but like they're 20 to 30% THCA, just like normal dispensary weed. So it was that was the loophole. And of course there's a different measurement for edibles, which also a whole nother thing. And that was closed, or it's going to be closed. It goes into effect in like towards the end of this year. But it begs the question, are we better off now than before Trump's second term? And it's kind of complicated, because if you ask people who work in the medical marijuana field or own a business or maybe just have a medical marijuana card, they're going to say absolutely yes, because as we're going to read in this article, it opens up a lot of possibilities. But if you ask people like me who enjoyed getting cheap hemp online at amazing prices for essentially the same quality and same effect as dispensary weed, medical marijuana, whatever. It's not great. I did cover a bill yesterday from Rand Paul that was proposed. You can check that out. But right now, nothing is changing with the loophole. It is still set to be closed at the end of the year. And again, this rescheduling is of medical marijuana, just not like all marijuana. Anyways, I'm done burying the lead. Let's get into this article from NPR. Trump administration eases rules on some marijuana categories. Here's what to know. The Trump administration is easing rules on medical marijuana, moving it out of the restrictive Schedule 1 and into Schedule 3, a category shared by drugs such as Tylenol, with codeine and anabolic steroids. Acting Attorney General Todd Blanche announced the move on Thursday, saying it allows for research on the safety and efficacy of this substance, ultimately providing patients with better care and doctors with more reliable information. So what does Thursday's announcement do? The rescheduling does not immediately affect recreational marijuana. The new policy applies to only two types of marijuana products, one that are FDA-approved ones and ones that are regulated under a state medical marijuana license. In late June, the Drug Enforcement Agency will hold hearings looking at the broader rescheduling of marijuana, not just medical programs, the Justice Department also announced. The administration says it wants to strengthen medical research, but also maintain strict federal controls, and the shift to Schedule 3 does mean that medical marijuana researchers would no longer have to go through the onerous process of obtaining a Schedule 1 license to do the work. That process has long been seen as intensely rigorous, including tight laboratory regulations to acquire and study marijuana. And this quote sent me off, and we're going to take a little bit of a detour here because I about crashed out. This is from these anti-legalization groups, Smart Approaches to Marijuana, or SAM. We've actually covered them before, and I crashed out probably just as equally. But today's marijuana is more dangerous than previously thought. Not less dangerous, and until data shows otherwise, it means it meets current criteria for Schedule 1, the group's president, Kevin Sabet, said in a statement. It's a drug that should be carefully researched, of course, but not legalized through the back door. Okay. I'm tired of this whole, marijuana is dangerous. Marijuana is dangerous. Synthetic marijuana is so dangerous. All marijuana is dangerous. It's a public health freaking disaster. It's not. So I just want to quickly go through this. This is from the CDC about alcohol. You know how many people die every single year from excessive alcohol drinking? 178,000. That's a public health crisis. Not saying that we should necessarily do anything about it, because I'm very libertarian when it comes to drugs and what you can put in your body, but I don't hear you creating, I don't see you creating groups to smart approaches to alcohol. Like, shut up. Drunk driving. Every day, about 32 people in the United States die in drunk driving crashes. Every day. Every single day. That's one person every 44 minutes. In 2024, 11,904 people died in alcohol-impaired driving traffic deaths. These deaths were all preventable. Now, let's look at marijuana. You see, I always have troubles trying to compile how many people died from marijuana, because the thing is, according to the DEA, no deaths from overdose of marijuana have been reported, although there have been an increasing number of emergency room visits involving marijuana edibles. Like, come on, man, who hasn't taken, like, fell into the edible trap where you take a little bit too much and sometimes you feel like I need to go to the ER now. I mean, it happens to all of us, right? Anyways, and then looking at this study from FAU, results published in the Journal of Nursing Scholarship, sorry, this text is really small, I can barely read it, show that 386 people died as a result of cannabis use. These 258 cases were caused by synthetic cannabis. Nearly 65% of these cases involved synthetic cannabis as the only drug involved. So this is a period of 6 years. In 6 years, 386 people have died as a result of marijuana. And the study goes on, and it's not exactly clear if marijuana was the the leading cause of their death. From what I understand is, you definitely can't overdose on marijuana, not even synthetic marijuana that is 100 times more potent. It's just not possible. But these carts that, because you normally vape them in carts, that sometimes there is bad stuff put into these carts by shady companies like Vitamin E or whatever, that when you inhale it, it is very bad. It's normally not the marijuana itself. Now, even if it was, we're still talking about less than 400 cases over 6 years, when over 100,000 people die from excessive alcohol drinking every freaking year, and one person dies every 44 minutes from drunk driving. Like, give me a break. Give me a break. I'm so tired of this fake outrage. Anyways, what does this mean for the marijuana business? Cannabis firms registered in state medical marijuana programs stand to get a huge tax burden lifted. And this is a big one. And in the past, most financial institutions have refused to provide basic banking services even to state-authorized marijuana businesses because of potential liability. Companies like Brill's largely operate entirely in cash. What about cannabis consumers? Generally, recategorizing drugs happens via an act of Congress or a formal rule-making process, but Trump's order opened the door to a shortcut that ensures U.S. compliance with international drug treaty obligations, and Blanche invoked the streamlined process to recategorize medical marijuana. But for other changes, the administration says it will take a more traditional approach. So yeah, as I said in the beginning of the video, if Trump wanted to reschedule all of it right away, he could have. Like, that executive order was just, it was PR. Same with Joe Biden back when he's like, oh, I'm starting the process to reschedule marijuana, and then nothing happened. So, like, my point was, like, a president, if they were serious about legalizing weed and rescheduling it, it's pretty easy, as long as you have, like, the political will. And of course, Trump partially does here. Like, are there health issues from weed? Of course, there isn't a single thing you can put in your body that couldn't cause a health issue. But are they anywhere as consequential as alcohol or tobacco use? Absolutely not, and it's not particularly close, as we've seen. In fact, like, when you look up studies on how harmful weed is to you, it's normally complex and kind of complicated. You'll have some studies show minimum health risk. You'll have others studies show moderate health risk. It's just not as straightforward. But what we know about studies on alcohol and tobacco, it's pretty straightforward. This is a net negative to your body, pretty much no matter how much you consume. And like, Alcohol and tobacco use alone, like combine those two, that results in like 500,000 plus deaths, 500,000 deaths in the U.S. every year. When we talk about the context of weed, we're talking like a couple hundred, maybe if you're being generous, 1,000 or two over the course of decades, decades. Like, so just shut up with this health concern. I'm so tired of this insincere and disconnected from reality take. It's so annoying, and I'm just tired of it. But anyways, yeah, this is a step in the right direction. It will be very good if we can pair it with, I don't know, a bill that maybe reverts the hemp ban a little bit or eases it up. But hey, let me know what you think in the comment section down below, and I will see you in the next one. If you made it to this point in the video, I just want to give a special thank you. If you enjoyed it, please hit that like button down below. And if you really enjoyed it, maybe consider hitting that subscribe button while you're down there. I want to hear your thoughts in the comment section. I will try to reply to any and all comments that I can. Until next time, watch that video on screen.